This is Daniela Camboni for Kitco News, and we have a special presentation for you. Later on in the week, Kitco News will be headed down to California for the Resource Investment Conference brought to you by Cambridge House. But today we have a special pre-show with David Morgan of the Silver Investor. He's one of the speakers, and he joins me on the line now. David, so nice to see you again.
That's great to be back with you.
So David, as I mentioned, you're one of the speakers at the show, and we will be asking our viewers for the first time who they would like to see a full presentation from. We will tape the presentation and air it on kitco.com. So what will you be speaking about during your talk in California?
Wow, I could talk for an hour on that. But basically, I'm going to look at the silver market specifically, although I have to put it in the context of the global system and the monetary context that we're all seeing unfold. I've been on this path for 40 years probably about the fiat money system and what happens at the end of them. And so that'll be the background. I'll point out why silver is still an undervalued, unknown asset class and why it's so valuable to the investor that's awake and aware. I'll be titling the talk Myths in the Silver Market, and I'll be pointing out some of the misconceptions about silver. After that, I'll be going back to my booth and I'll be able to take questions. I'm a real big believer in education. I really think before anyone dives into an investment that they have to know the background, they have to have some understanding, and really have to be educated before they make a decision. Gold seems to be something that, is talked about much more than silver, and that's fine. I am a gold bull, but it's almost a non sequitur. It's usually something that people just do because other people are doing it, they heard of it, or they've heard it so often. So I'm not against gold, but I think silver offers more opportunity.
So David, without giving everything away, what would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions surrounding silver?
One of my favorites is silver's not money. And I go through that pretty thoroughly. It certainly is. It certainly was. And actually, the silver standard lasted longer than the gold standard in the modern world. On top of that, in the United States of America, I'm old enough to know that there were silver coins circulating, 90% silver coins through 1964. I was 11 years old. And so I know a lot about the silver market. Certainly don't know everything. There's always more to learn. But one of the key issues about silver is, well, gold is money and silver is an industrial metal. No, it's both an industrial metal and money. So that's only one of the aspects. I also point out some interesting ways to make money in this market, which I think a lot of people really are eager to hear at this point in time.
David, now I know you've been a big advocate of this. Do you think we'll see more states following in the footsteps of Utah, for example, and adopting some sort of silver standard?
Well, to a precious metal standard, either gold only or bimetallic, which I favor, which would be gold and silver. That's what is in Utah right now and passed into law, and I absolutely agree. There'll be more and more states coming to the fore to take that power back. It is the states' rights that can only issue silver and gold coin. It's not a federal issue, it's a state issue. So once the states recognize this and pass these mandates into law for their populace of the given state, I think you're going to see it come more and more often. And I think it's a good way to have a dual system. In other words, you can choose if you want to pay in private bank notes issued by the corporation Federal Reserve, or you can choose to pay in gold or silver.
David, what do you think about that breakout move we saw with silver about 2 weeks ago when Sprott announced his purchase of silver? Were you surprised?
Somewhat, but not totally. And the reason I felt that there would be some movement is because the first initial purchase of the PSLV was around 22 million ounces. And from the information that I was able to gather right before that purchase, some of my fellow silver bulls in the European zone were telling me that it would take probably a couple months to get the metal and probably move the price $4. And that's almost exactly what took place. So we're looking at this one being about not quite half as much as that purchase. Would that be good for a $2 move or not at this point in the market? And the answer is I didn't know, but I suspected it could be. And sure enough, that's about what we saw, about a $2 move in the market.
Now, David, I know you've said that when silver is below $30, it's a good buying opportunity. As we're speaking, we're currently around the $33 mark. What do you do at this level?
Well, I don't think if you have no metal at this point in time, I think you should buy some. And I say that consistently, even when silver was in the $40 plus range. If you have zero, go ahead and get in and get started, but that doesn't mean to put everything you've got into the metal. So I would take that same approach now. I would get some if you have none, but I'd also have some cash ready if we do get a pullback.
All right, David, thank you so much for your thoughts. My final question, however, is why should viewers vote for you?
Well, I don't know. That's up to the viewer. I really think that, one, you got to vote with whomever resonates with you. I think you got to seek the truth. I think you need to find what is probably something you're comfortable with or somebody that you're comfortable with to help you. Certainly, I don't have all the answers. I never pretended to, but I certainly try to stay on the facts as much as possible. My background is engineering and finance, so I like to bring logic to the fore whenever possible. Markets run on emotion, not on logic most of the time, but I try to temper a very steadied hand, if you will, on the tiller all throughout this bull market so that the profits can be maximized. Most people have no idea how long these bull markets can sustain or how high they will go. And I'm here to help you maximize and balance your risk to reward.
Plus, you're so charismatic, David.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
All right, David, we look forward to seeing you in California. And as mentioned earlier, we invite you, our viewers, to vote for who you would like to see featured on Kitco.com. You can choose between David Morgan of the Silver Investor, Jeff Berwick of the Dollar Vigilante, Gregory Weldon of Weldon Financial, and Frank Barbera. Whoever gets the most number of votes will have their full presentation from the conference broadcast on Kitco.com. So vote. In the meantime, you can email me at newsfeedback@kitco.com. For Kitco News, I'm Daniela Cambone.